I don't get that. I don't. When movies do that and they just make it seem like you're supposed to be okay with it. I hate it.
Hello, everyone. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
Jackman.
That's Win. And today we are back with another episode of the Streaming Junkies. And we are doing today. We're doing Reminiscence. I think I already said that. But before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Movie recommendations. Much appreciated.
That mouse is just over her boob.
Sorry. Didn't want to get canceled. But today, like I said, we're doing Reminiscence starring Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, and what's that one girl's name?
Isn't she the one that gets mistaken for Zoe Saldana all the time, or is that someone else?
I could definitely see it.
Look at her interview.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. She was in Westworld, Crash. Oh, Mission Impossible 2. Okay, I've seen like literally all those movies. I just didn't know that was her. So
yeah, that's her.
Yeah, Fernando.
You're really struggling.
How would you say it?
Thandiwe.
Thandiwe? Okay.
I think her name is just Thandy.
I believe it. Newton, though, starring her as well. Wow, she doesn't even like have a name. Watts was her name.
Watts is her name, yeah.
But this follows. I'm just gonna read the tagline because it's starting with his name. Hugh Jackman's character Nick meets this woman and he falls in love with her, and she kind of just disappears, and it's essentially him trying to uncover the mystery of her disappearing, and he finds some stuff that people were up to no good.
Yep. He works for someone at the police station. He's like an interrogator because the Reminiscence machine thing.
Yeah, and he's got his own like side business too of just like giving people that nostalgia.
He's basically a therapist. He's basically like a therapist that let's say it was like a psychologist.
You're going on a journey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read the tagline too because I felt like I split that up. Nick Bannister, a private investigator of the mind, navigates the slurring world. It's so far away of the past when his life is changed by a new client, May. A simple case becomes an obsession. Alluring. An obsession after she disappears, and he fights to learn the truth about her. So yeah, that's pretty much what I said. I just gave more background to it.
Just a little bit.
But speaking of background, that's actually something I loved about this movie. I liked the world they created. It was actually really cool. I thought that there wasn't going to be any of that. And I think that you and I both had very low expectations for this. So I think part of us thinking it was pretty decent was because of that. But there was the world of, the world's flooded. I didn't think I'd like that.
I didn't.
Well, that's fair.
I got mad nitpicky for this for some reason.
I mean, fair enough. I did like, it is so hot now, so they live by night. The war was the only thing, I guess, like the world building that they did that I was like, they didn't go into it enough.
No.
If there's like a flashback or two, or maybe, I don't know, that it would have worked a little bit.
I got somewhat nitpicky after a while because it got real confusing because there was like sides of Miami where it's like, if you've been to Florida, it's completely flat. Mm-hmm. So if anything's gonna flood, everything's gonna flood.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So if you like, there's this like one area where he basically has this private institution, or not institution, but where he does his therapist work or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's outside is kind of flooded, but it's like, not like,
it's a couple inches.
Yeah.
Not like, yeah, I guess that is true. The one thing I'm going to say, like, I just hated for some reason, and it's just because it didn't look good, was when they were sweeping into the city at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it just looked cheap. It looked like they just threw it together because they needed, it's literally like right here in the trailer.
Well, the day one, like the sunlight one version was like fine, but then you got to the dark side. It got to nighttime and it just looks CGI.
Yeah,
which is very weird because it's usually the opposite. Like CGI stuff at night is fine, and daylight stuff is kind of hard. But this time it was just really dumb.
Because then I think the first scene we see him, like, I think he's going to his Reminiscence business or whatever, and it's like it looks like it's just all blue screen. It's not even a set or green screen or whatever. I would have blue screen, right? Probably.
Yeah, it's both green and blue.
But it just like it doesn't even look like there's a set. It just looks like it's just all fake. And I'm like, oh, that kind of looks bad. But I don't. But then the rest of the movie, I didn't really see any of that. I mean, I'm sure it was there. I just may not have been paying attention. But at first, I was like, well, that looks crappy. But
admittedly, half of the time though, I was kind of thinking like this is more budgeted like a TV show.
Yeah,
because even like the front entrance, that's something that a TV show would do, where they would just put it in the back corner of the setting, and then people would just show up.
Yeah, I could
like a soundstage.
I mean, this is one I would like actually kind of agree with. Like, could be a TV show.
That's what I was thinking the whole time, because I feel
I haven't heard that one in a while from you, so
no,
I'm more willing to be like, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, this could have been such a good TV show.
It's a pretty cool concept. Like I said, I like the world building of it, so it was cool.
The plot was very predictable though.
Yes,
like the whole thing about her just like disappearing, and then apparently like she did this bad thing, and then she was supposed to do this bad thing, and she fell in love with it. Yeah, that was all very predictable. And also the narration part was just, I don't know. I
never liked the narration.
I hate narration,
which is fine.
But
but I don't know. Hugh Jackman, he's got a good voice for it, so
he does.
I'll give it a pass.
I'm more leaning towards like I don't know if there was really a point to it. Because like if the movie just started, it would have been fine.
No, I would agree. There's no like conclusion almost. Like it feels like we just went in a big circle for this movie. Because it starts off and we're following his stuff and we see him meeting May, and then it's like kind of like cut. Oh, he wakes up. He's just reliving those memories. Yeah. And then there's the whole thing with the earring, which I guess you said it was predictable. I'm going to say I didn't think it was. I mean, it wasn't predictable to me. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I was like, oh, that was cool. Like
which part?
With her like coming,
dropping the earring. Yeah.
I was like, I guess maybe I just forgot about it too. I was like, oh, okay.
That's
cool.
fair. Yeah.
Or even just her actually like, she did like fall in love with him. I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I was like, oh, that's sweet.
I just don't like, dude, you have to be ultra simp to be like, I want to find her.
Yeah.
Because she just disappeared. I don't get that. I don't. When movies do that and they just make it seem like you're supposed to be okay with it, I hate it. I don't understand why he has to go find her. I get that he's in love, but he's literally like going around to New Orleans fighting warlords or whatever you want to call them, getting shot, and then Watts is right there. She's like, dude, why don't you just f me or whatever? So what?
Pretty much.
What the fuck is the point of it? Like, why do I care?
I like the tension, and I will say I have been on like a romantic like movie kick, because I've been watching some messed up movies, so I gotta like even it out.
Fair enough.
And so it got that for me. I was like, oh, like the romance. I'm like, is this supposed to be more of a romance movie than like a sci-fi type movie? Yeah,
sci-fi. Yeah.
Well, I guess it even says right there.
In a sense, it is romance, but I don't know, man. I just kind of think that
I will say, like, I liked it, but I wish they didn't lean too much in the romance stuff. I think, like I said, the world's really cool. Why just lean more into that, and like the detective stuff. I mean, you can have the romance because every movie does, whether I like it or not. And so,
well, they also kind of spoiled it in the trailers and stuff, where they were like, she's not who you think she is, or whatever. That's where it got predictable to me when we got to about maybe the beginning of the second act.
I don't know. That's kind of funny though, because I've seen this trailer. You and I both probably have, like, in the movies, like probably for 6 months maybe now.
Yeah.
It's probably up there for one of the most ones we've seen the most, because they've advertised it a good bit. But like, I don't know. I didn't think about any of the trailers. All I thought about from the trailers was like the lines. I was like, anytime they said something from the trailer, I was like, oh, that was in the trailer. And I was like, but some stuff was even like altered to at least different, like chronological or whatever. But
the way it was set up though was pretty nice. I thought the ending, although it was predictable, the ending was kind of okay. I mean, the part where it was a son, shit, spoiler. The part where the son was the one who basically got her killed was pretty interesting, and the girl that keeps coming back and like, also. Who? Okay, okay. So this whole thing is a memory thing, right? Wouldn't it be in that person's perspective instead of like this 3D like aspect of it?
He talks about it, and it actually like he did like the exercise with May. He's like, think of your first kiss, and like it's like whenever you get done with that moment, it wasn't just you, the person you see being there, it's the entire area. And I even like did that like along with the movie. I'm like, huh, you're kind of right. What the and so I don't know if that's an actual science thing or like I was just like playing the fool and like went with the movie trick or whatever.
I mean, I guess it is better than like than a POV.
Yeah,
because then you'd just be seeing a hologram of just like
this
dude's giant ass face coming at you.
Well, that is the thing. They did do the POV stuff though with the guy they had in like a coma or whatever. So
yeah.
But I think that was like a cheaper model, and so that's why it was like that.
Or like a portable.
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
But again, like there was like that world. So I like again. I think I would agree. Could have been a TV show. I think. Yeah. Give me a Reminiscence TV show starring, because they will
Hugh Jackman.
I mean, starring Hugh Jackman, but who else? I'm trying to think of someone. Give me Nicholas Hoult as a young Hugh Jackman.
I don't know about that. Yeah, war one.
Huh?
The war one. He was in the war.
No, like he's just younger and like he's still doing this, but no, not the war stuff. Yeah, I mean, I still would like to know like what was this war fought about? Like, I mean, it seems like the world's so like I feel like in most movies they come together, like the world comes together, but now it's like, oh, we're gonna kill each other.
Well, comparatively to
we're
like
all wet.
Comparatively to like what's going on now, and like people doing riots and shit like that, like does it really happen that often where like the night seems more alive than the day? Because like that shit doesn't make sense to me either. When they were kind of mentioning it, they talk about it in the movie where the nights are more alive than during the day, and people are more around, and like that still doesn't make sense to me
because the sun's so hot now.
I guess
that, and I was like, okay. I think I was just like very accepting of this world while you were not, and like I was just going with it because I was like, this movie's gonna be not great, but I'm gonna watch it and I'll probably give it like a 4, but I was surprised, and my rating's higher than a 4, so stay tuned to see what I give it.
I was more intrigued with the premise than I was actual of the world. Every now and then I'll just be thinking about, this story could have been more thought out. This part could have been more thought out if it was a TV show.
I think there's also probably maybe one too many characters. Yeah. Like there's you've got like the dirty cop, the drug lord, the son, the mom,
friend,
and her Watts, Nick, like
the bad guy detective dude, or
there's
the corrupt cop.
There's just one too many characters, and even if you just took out one and maybe like even combined one or something, like maybe the dirty cop and the drug lord or something, it would have worked a little better, because whenever they brought in the dirty cop kind of like story and he was actually a big part of it, I was like, I feel like we've gone off track to like what are we doing now? But because like you could have just made that the drug lord, like, but I guess they had to make the movie a little longer.
This movie is thought out like a TV show. Because that dirty cop would have been introduced maybe like midway through the show, or maybe even like the second or third episode. If they did like an hour-long versions of this, he would have been introduced by then, and we would have more. We would be able to see Hugh Jackman's character, the reason why he's so hell-bent about finding her. Because like this movie is so quick. They literally just tell you that like this is why I love her. This is why
Yeah.
she's so important. Even Watts, right? She was like, why the do you give a shit
Yeah.
so much? You knew her for a few months.
And two, I'm gonna say just as an excuse. So the director and writer is Lisa Joy. This is her first movie, and everything else she's done is TV shows.
Or producing.
Yeah, so that makes sense why it feels like it could be a TV show. Because she has done, I think it was Westworld, I think something called Pushing Up Daisies and Burn Notice. And I've heard of Burn Notice. Pushing Daisies. So I think maybe
I'd like to think
it was a TV show.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Maybe like HBO Max was like, hey, make it a movie.
And we'll see.
And we'll let you do it. So I actually bet 100% that's what happened. So
this would have worked so well if it was a TV show. I mean, I don't know how or who could do it, but there's definitely better.
What were some positives for you for this movie? Because you said you were nitpicky. You said you didn't like.
I didn't intend to be nitpicky.
No, and I could 100%. I mean, I was nitpicky near the end. So, but like, what did you like about this movie?
I like that I'm struggling. I would say maybe the only thing I liked about it was just the premise. I thought it was really cool just to see that kind of thing where it's like, oh, it's like a memory bank. There's like a vault.
Now,
a memory bank
I will say, anyone comparing it to Nolan shit, you're an idiot. Sorry. This is like no.
Yeah, wasn't Nolan the one of the Nolan bros got attached to this or some shit like that? Was the producer?
The Nolan bros. There's more than one.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan and the other Nolan.
I didn't know there was another one.
I think they're brothers. I'd like to assume they're brothers. They're pretty good at writing, so yeah. He did Westworld. He was the creator of Westworld. Well, not creator. But
I mean, maybe if he was attached to Westworld, I would assume this Lisa whatever and probably talked. So Lisa Joy probably. So he might be in the credits or something. So you like the premise.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is anywhere close to Nolan stuff. And I remember I think we talked about it maybe on last week's weekly of like, or maybe it was off camera of just like people were comparing it to Nolan. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And before we wrap it up, I actually want to talk about something because I just thought about this. I think we'll both agree this is definitely a good streaming watch over a theater watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneeze. We're coming to almost the end of the HBO Max, like streaming and theaters. Streaming. Yeah. At the same time, obviously, I don't think they're getting their money back.
No.
I sure brought in more subscribers because even they were talking about like they got more than they expected, not by a lot, but still. But do you think? I don't know. Did you like this year of? I mean, it made it easier on us, but I don't know. As like how we both love movies, I didn't like it per se. Like,
the streaming stuff?
The simultaneous theater release and
I mean, there's like the benefits of it.
There
honestly. I there's people who aren't vaccinated and all that stuff, and like who's like vulnerable to that kind of thing. So I thought it was a good thing.
Talking outside of the pandemic, I guess. So say like HBO Max just decided to do that this year.
No, I don't think that's a good reason to. I don't think that's a good thing to do. Because then that gives you all the more reason to bitch about how you're not making money.
Yeah,
and bitch about how people.
So I
guess
watch movies. It is because of the pandemic, so that it makes sense. But
in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it was good financially, but it was good for the people who just doesn't want to sit in a movie theater for like 2 hours, maybe, or who's someone in a vulnerable state for them to be able to go to movies. So honestly, the whole streaming theater thing. From the beginning, it was a bad idea.
We still got Dune this year.
We do, so that might be their final hurrah.
Because I don't know. I don't think they've confirmed like they're not doing it next year, but I don't think they will. Even if it like say it got worse,
it is worse now.
Well, yeah, like I don't think they'll.
I will say during fall, it's gonna be really, it's gonna be an interesting and kind of unbalanced, cause like the whole, what is it, the variant, the Delta variant has gotten worse, and it seems like it's getting worse by the day. And they were just about to close the streaming stuff. Like Disney's not gonna put Shang-Chi in there, or Shang-Chi in there. So it might go back to that by the end of December. You might be able to see No Way Home.
I don't think they could do. I mean, they could. They're a billion-dollar company, but I don't think they would do another. They would just delay everything again. I don't think they could. At least intelligently, I don't think they should do another year.
Well, if there's another order where the theaters need to close, or any public spaces needs to close, or anything like that, they might just do that. And I think that's the only reason why they would do that, to go back to streaming. Because like I don't think they would.
If they put Batman on streaming, I'm not waiting until the theater opens to watch it in the theater.
Oh, well, but you gotta watch though. You just said that.
No, I would not watch Batman at home if I had the choice.
You don't want to watch Batman at home?
I would much rather watch it in a theater.
Well, what if you had it?
That's like the only thing, or because I think they had it slated this year, and I was pretty upset about the simultaneous stuff. So, but then they pushed it back. So I'm definitely want to see that theater. So
I admittedly just don't care as long as people are safe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Movie theater people, not safe at all. Not the workers, the people who go to movie theaters.
Back to Reminiscence. Let's give it a rating out of 10. What are you going to say, Wood?
I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about it, besides like the cringiness of a lot of scenes, or the CGI or something like that. So I'm just going to say like an even 5. You know what? Maybe 6. I'm going to be nice. Let's put a 6 on there.
6?
It's way better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was just surprised. I was definitely thinking like, I'm not gonna hate this movie. It's not gonna be good. Blah blah blah. But entertainment wise, I'd give it like maybe an 8. I was engrossed in the world. I was a sucker for the romance stuff, and I enjoyed the movie. I was surprised I did. So
I admittedly didn't care about this too much. So
no,
I mean, fair. I wasn't like. Yeah, I watched it, and then I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. Yeah. So,
I was very tired watching this too. So.
Yeah. I'll give this entertainment value, I'll give it a 6. An even 6 on average.
Anyways, though, we're the continuity crew. I'm Will. That's what. And as always, we...
Also, there's a couple scenes on here that didn't make it from the trailer. Just probably.
But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love movies. We love y'all. We'll see you on the next episode of The Streaming Junkies. We'll see ya. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Mwah.